Hello friends, good morning. I would like to clear the concept today of latitude and contrast. You all are aware what is latitude? It's the range of thickness over which a satisfactory radiograph can be obtained within the acceptable density range. Now, if the latitude is high and if I choose a high contrast film, obviously the thin portion will get too dark, the thick portion will get too light. So it is not possible to obtain an acceptable radiograph, especially with high latitude and high contrast. So how do I solve this? You can have high latitude and high contrast radiograph. It's possible. Now look at this. As I said to you, when the contrast gets higher or the latitude gets higher, obviously on high contrast film, the thick portion appears too light because more radiation is absorbed by the thick portion, whereas the thin portion appears darker. So obviously the contrast is high, but it is not within the acceptable density range, which is typically 1.8 to 4 for X-rays and 2 to 4 for gamma rays. One way out is to increase the kV, kilovoltage. What happens if I increase the kilovoltage? The subject contrast will now decrease. So I can obtain single radiograph on a high contrast film, but because the subject contrast is low, the overall contrast also will become very low. So you will not find the difference between the densities very much. So fine defects will not stand out. You will not be able to see very fine defects because overall radiographic contrast will decrease, because radiographic contrast consists of the subject contrast and the film contrast. So even if the film contrast is high, the subject contrast is too low because I have increased the kilovoltage. So that's not a solution, because this radiograph as well is unacceptable because the overall contrast is low. So only way out to get an acceptable radiograph for high contrast and high latitude is by multi-film technique, which is very valuable. Now multi-film technique, I can use 2 or more films of same speed or different film, and I can expose them in a single cassette. Now if I select 2 or more films of different speed and I'll expose them together, so what will happen now? Both will attain same density levels because they are in one cassette. So what I do, I will adjust the exposure condition in such a way that the thick portion is exposed or seen on a fast film where I get the acceptable density range, and the thin portion will be seen on the slow film because thin portion sends more radiation, so I have to use the slow film. So I can extend this with more number of films to cover the range of latitude that I can have 4 or 5 film exposed in a single cassette. Another way out is to use 2 or more films of the same speed, which is called composite viewing, where I'll view all the films together on the viewer. So here I will adjust the exposure condition in such a way that the thick portion is viewed superimposed, like you see here the density generated is low, it's 1 and 1, so I get the satisfactory density 2. Where a thin portion will be viewed on any one of the films. Now here both the films will have same densities because they are of same speed. So here it's 3, here as well it will be 3. So I need not add this. So when I do composite viewing, it will be only for the lower density range or for the thicker portions, and for the thinner portion I can view on any one of the films. So to obtain high latitude and high contrast, we do need multi-film techniques, and we can add as many films to cover the range of thicknesses. Greater the latitude, more the films that you need. So just increasing kV is not good enough. That's what technicians do. But by increasing the kV, I am compromising the sensitivity because the subject contrast becomes very low. As a result, the radiographic contrast also will become very, very low. So our interest is to get the required contrast so that the fine defects becomes visible. For which reason, multi-film technique is the only solution. So do you have any questions about it? Please feel free to send me a mail. And I'm sure you would like this topic of level 3. This is what we teach in level 3 examination preparation. Thank you.